Easy and short question. What is lesson study?
Easy and short. Okay, let's do it easy and short. It's a type of teacher training, can be professional development or initial teacher education, but it's also a type of teacher research and a type of research on the curriculum from the whole school system. And it originated in Japan more than 150 years ago, and it's now spreading all over the world since the year 2000 or so, and particularly in Europe in recent years. It's a very natural process. Teachers would gather together and around a question, an issue they have about teaching and learning, they would study what has been written about it. They would plan a lesson to experiment to get answers to these questions they have, and they will observe the lesson related to these research questions. They will then discuss the lesson and maybe plan it again so that they can answer better these questions. But at the same time, it's a very structured process that makes it sometimes a little bit difficult. And what is very interesting is that it's very close to what you usually do as teachers, but you do it collaboratively, you do it in a structured way, and by looking at the learning of the students, you are thinking about the teaching, which is at the core of the teaching profession. And it brings you the occasion to observe the teaching that you cannot do when you are teaching usually. Because since you prepared the lesson, you will observe the lesson given by one of your colleagues, but it's still your lesson. So in fact, you are kind of observing yourself giving the lesson, but at the same time, you can observe the student, which is amazing for teachers.
Okay, thank you. And basically, that's gonna also answer the question, why is it useful? Maybe you wanna say something more about why is it useful?
Yes, it is, because of this collaborative process, it brings really confidence between the teachers, and it's a kind of learning by problem solving, because this team of teachers will have problems, but will look at the literature, might have external expert intervening in the process. And so it's giving confidence to the whole system. And you might work with colleagues, but some people will come maybe sometimes to observe the lesson from the Ministry of Education, from the research team, from the neighboring universities. You might invite teachers from other schools. So the whole school system will evolve doing that. In countries where lesson study is well implemented, it's the whole evolution of the curriculum system, it's the whole evolution of the school system that is focused around this lesson study. It's the case particularly in Japan, but not only in Japan, it's starting to be in other countries.
Yeah, and we're very happy to be here this week in Netherlands to learn more about it, so we can bring this with us in our countries. But how to conduct lesson study and what are the phases of it?
Yeah, the phases are this idea of having a research question, a problem you want to dig into to get answer to, is then to study what has been written about it, what are the material available, the curriculum, the textbooks, then to plan a lesson, but not just to plan a lesson to be a good lesson, but to plan a lesson so that you can observe elements that will bring answer to your research question. And then this lesson being planned, the observation being planned as well, you will observe the lesson and discuss it, and then write something about it so that you can share to colleagues, but also build new knowledge. And next time you start a lesson study cycle, build on this knowledge. It takes time, but it's really worth the time. And by the way, that's one of the key elements of lesson study success, is that as a professional development or as an initial teacher education process, it takes time. But education takes time. It's worth it, but people have to be aware it's an investment in time, very successful investment in all the cases I've been observing so far, but it's an investment.
But what would be the most hardest thing, maybe in your opinion, about the lesson study? Is it the time? It takes a lot of time, or is it something else?
It is time, and it's not only time in terms of amount of time, but it has to be time in a long period of time. You cannot do it, let's say, if you have 10 hours, it's better to have 1 hour and a half, 1 hour and a half, 1 hour and a half than to have 10 hours in a row, because it needs also maturation. So you need to have time on a rather long period of time, and you need to have time together. So schools where lesson study are implemented, they have to really think about when can it happen during the working schedule of the teachers. And that's something that's sometimes difficult to implement. But if you want to do it, it's possible. In every school, it's possible, but you need this wanting to do it.